Hello and welcome to Papa Ty's Children's Church. So what have you guys been doing this week?
Gong, 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 gong. Garrett has been helping me write stories.
You've been writing stories for school, for fun, both?
For school and fun.
For school and fun?
Pork, pork, pork.
Yeah, what have you been doing, Porky?
Porky and I have been reading stories.
Oh, you've been reading stories? Chitter! Chitter, chitter! Chitter is really excited. He's learned to read recently, and chitter, chitter, chitter. Oh, he can read stories to Chia, because she can't read yet. So he can read her his favorite stories. Chitter, 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 chitter. He enjoys sharing his stories. Well, the next few children's church lessons, we're going to have stories that Jesus told, because Jesus liked to tell stories. And a lot of them were special stories. They were called a parable. And parables sound like just normal stories about things that you see or do every day, but they have a special meaning about God or about the kingdom of heaven. So they're earthly stories with a heavenly meaning. That's one definition I've heard before. So our story today is going to sound like it's about something normal, and then the disciples will have to ask Jesus what the special meaning is, because they won't be sure. And Jesus is going to say our memory verse. So Porky, can you tell us what our memory verse is today?
Pork, 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 porky. Porky said, "He who has ears, let him hear." Matthew 13:9.
Chitter! Chitter, 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 chitter. Chitter wants to know, why would Jesus say that? Because chitter, 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 chitter has ears, and of course he can hear. So why would Jesus tell people who have ears to hear? Chitter. Well, chitter, chitter, chitter. Chitter thinks we should go ask Mr. Kevin. What do you think, Porky? Does that sound like a good idea? Does that sound like a good idea? Okay. Let's go ask Mr. Kevin what our memory verse means then. Chitter, 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 chitter.
Oh, hi, Chitter.
Chitter, 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 chitter.
Hi, how are you?
Chitter wants to know why you're in a tree.
Oh, I'm here in the tree because I'm listening to the birds. It's a really nice day and there are lots of birds in this tree. They love this big tree.
Chitter, 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 chitter. Chitter says he likes that too.
Oh, yeah.
He has a question about the memory verse. Can you ask him your question, Chitter? Chitter, 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 chitter. Chitter says, Jesus said in our memory verse, "He who has ears, let him hear." But everybody has ears, so why would Jesus say that? Chitter, 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 chitter.
Oh, that's a good question, Chitter. Yeah, people have ears, so why would Jesus have to say that? Yeah. Hey, where are the kids? Whenever you come to ask me a question, there are kids. Where are they? Oh, hi, kids. Hey, good to see everybody. So, that was Jesus' way of saying that we should listen to God. So, when Jesus says, "He who has ears, let him hear," that makes me think, well, I have ears, so I should hear, but to hear what God is saying, I have to listen to him, and so I should listen to God. And then if I listen to God, then I should do what he says. I should obey him. Kind of like, Chitter, if your mom says, "No nuts before dinner," right? Then you have ears, and so you hear what your mom says, but you need to listen to her too and pay attention to what she's saying. And then if you listen to what she says, then you need to do what she says, because she's trying to help you stay healthy. And so we have to listen to God with our ears and do what he says.
Chitter, 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 chitter. Now Chitter has another question. What about the people in our church who can't hear? Chitter, 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 chitter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, Chitter, because we have some people in our church who have ears, but they can't hear. Their ears don't work right. So with them, then they can use their eyes to hear. They hear with their eyes. So they use sign language, and they can see it, and they can read the Bible, too, with their eyes.
Chitter, 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 chitter.
Yeah. All right, Chitter. Hey, let's sit out here together and listen to some birds.
He always has good answers, doesn't he? Anna, do you have a song for us? Or does Garrett have a song for us?
Gong, 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 gong. Garrett thinks, "Be Careful."
Yeah, oh, be careful.
Be Careful
Yeah.
is a good song that fits with our memory verse.
Oh, yeah, that does fit with our memory verse. All right, you guys ready? Oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see. Oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see. hear. Oh, be careful, little ears, what you hear. For the Father up above is looking down in love. So be careful, little ears, what you hear. Oh, be careful, little mouth, what you say. Oh, be careful, little mouth, what you say. For the Father up above is looking down in love. So be careful, little mouth, what you say. Oh, be careful, little hands, what you do. Oh, be careful, little hands, what you do. For the Father up above is looking down in love. So be careful, little hands, what you do. Oh, be careful, little feet, where you go. Oh, be careful, little feet, where you go. For the Father up above is looking down in love. So be careful, little feet, where you go. So we're doing stories about Jesus this year, and we did a whole bunch of stories of him healing people, and then we did some special miracles where he calmed a storm, and he made a whole bunch of food, and then he walked on the water. So we've done miracles, and now we're going to do parables, stories Jesus told that were about normal things, but that had special meanings. So in our story today, Jesus began to teach by the Sea of Galilee, and the Sea of Galilee is the sea that he had walked on in our story last week. There was a very big crowd, so he got into a boat and sat down out on the lake so that everybody could see and hear him. All the people were along the shore at the water's edge, and he taught them many things using stories. So first, Jesus said,
Gong, 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 gong.
a farmer went out to plant some seeds. He scattered the seeds on the ground, and some of the seeds fell on a path. Chitter, 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 chitter. Yeah, that's supposed to be a path, and this is supposed to be dirt. Can you pretend, Chitter? Chitter, 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 chitter. You're not. Well, it should be easy for you to pretend because you're a you're a chipmunk, and chipmunks have good imagination. Chitter, 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 chitter. Okay, so can you pretend that's a path with seeds on it? Chitter. So some of the seeds fell on the path, and birds came and ate it up. Yes, that's what Jesus said.
Squawk. Squawk.
Because birds like seeds, right? And so if seeds fall on the path, the birds are going to eat them? Okay, Jesus, what happened to the next group of seeds?
Gong, 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 gong.
Some seed fell on rocky places, where there were lots of rocks, but not very much dirt. Chitter, 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 chitter. Oh, can you pretend those are rocks? Chitter, chitter, chitter. Because they are rocks. Yes. So those plants came up very quickly, but there wasn't very much dirt. And when the sun came up, it burned those plants, and they dried up because they didn't have any roots. Chitter, 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 chitter. Yeah, that's really what would happen if you plant seeds where there's just rocks and not very much dirt. They're not going to grow very well, are they? Okay, Jesus, how about the next group of seeds?
Gong, 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 gong.
Other seed fell. Oh no, their seeds are falling on the wrong spot. Other seed fell where there were thorns. And those thorns grew up and they crowded out the plants. And the plants did not bear any grain. Where are thorns? Ah, there are thorns. Chitter, 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 chitter. Yeah, those really are weeds. They're kind of old dried up ones, but yeah, those are weeds. And where there are lots of weeds, can you grow a good garden? Chitter, chitter, chitter. No, you can't. You can't. Okay, Jesus, we have one more kind of dirt. Can you tell us about that? What happened to those seeds?
Gong, 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 gong.
Still other seed fell on good dirt. Whee. Oh no! The seed likes to fall all over the place. All right. Still other seeds fell on good dirt, and it grew and produced a crop 30, 60, or even 100 times more than the farmer had planted. Then Jesus said,
Gong, 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 gong.
Those who have ears, he who has ears, let him hear. Yeah, if you have ears, you should listen, right? Well, later Jesus was alone, and the 12 disciples came to him, and they asked,
Porky?
"What did that story mean?" Jesus said,
Gong, 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 gong.
"The secrets about the kingdom of heaven have been given to you, but to everybody else I just tell stories." And he also said, "Don't you understand this story? Then how are you going to understand any of the stories I tell?" Then Jesus explained the first group of seeds. He said,
Gong, 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 gong.
"The seed the farmer plants is God's message. What is the seed scattered on a path like? Well, the message is planted and the people hear it. But you know what? They don't listen because the devil comes and he takes away that message that was planted there." Chitter, chitter, chitter. Yeah, the path, that one's really sad because those people, they don't listen at all. They hear God's message, but the devil takes it away and they don't listen and they don't change or learn about Jesus at all. Okay, Jesus, how about the second seeds?
Gong, 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 gong.
And how about the seeds that is scattered on the rocky places? That's like people who hear the message and at first they're very excited, they're joyful, but they don't have any roots, so they don't last a very long time at all. They quickly stop believing in Jesus if there's any trouble or any problems come because of the message. So those are people that they hear about Jesus and they're excited at first, but then maybe some of their friends laugh at them, or maybe they decide that following Jesus is really hard, and so they stop listening and they stop believing in Jesus. They don't believe for very long at all. All right, how about the next batch of seeds, Jesus?
Gong, 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 gong.
And what is seeds scattered among thorns like? That's like people who hear the message, but then worries start getting to them. They worry about money, or they just want lots of money. And they want lots of stuff, and all sorts of other things make them worried, and they crowd out the message, and they don't produce any grain. They don't do any good at all. So they believe in Jesus at first, but then they're so busy thinking about other things, they forget to think about Jesus or care about Jesus or do anything with Jesus. And so they don't do any good. All right, Jesus, can we finally have the good news? What's the last group of seeds like?
Gong, 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 gong.
And what is seeds scattered on good soil like? Those are people who hear the message and they accept it, they listen to it, they hear it, and they produce a good crop, 30, 60, or even 100 times more than the farmer planted. So not only do they become good grain, but they tell other people about Jesus, or other people see them, how they've changed and how good they are, and they ask them about it. So those are the people who listen to Jesus, not just hear him. Chitter, chitter, chitter. Yeah, do you understand the story now? Chitter, chitter. Do you think the disciples understand the story better now? You know, they must have, because it's in the books of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. So they thought it was a very important story, and they remembered it and wrote it down. We read it from Mark today, from the Gospel of Mark, because he just did a really good job telling it. Chitter, chitter, chitter. So the first seeds are like people who really don't listen at all, and the devil comes and takes away Jesus from them. Chitter, chitter, chitter. And the second group of seeds are like people who believe at first, but then they start, that's right. When any bad things happen, then they stop paying attention. Chitter, chitter, chitter. Yeah, I should have listened to you. You were paying attention. Chitter, chitter, chitter. And then the ones with thorns, that's like people who they start to believe, but then they worry about too many things instead of paying attention to Jesus. Chitter, chitter, chitter. These people just need to pay attention to Jesus. And the last group does. They do. They pay attention to Jesus and become good crops. Chitter, chitter. All right, time for our craft, I think, which has to do with our story today. Chitter, chitter, chitter.
Okay, so here's this week's craft. It's a little parable teller, a fortune teller turned into a Bible story. So here's how to make it. I'm going to go and unfold this thing. So of course you print it out and it's just a blank piece of paper. Well, you have the design and stuff, but you can color it, then you can cut it. It's in a square, so of course you have to cut it. So then to fold it, you're gonna start on the blank side.
Fold,
Oh, right.
fold the halves.
So start by folding it in half. That's not half. Start by folding it in half one way, flip it, fold it in half the other way, and then do the diagonals. And that'll help you turn it into a little creature. So then you can fold your little triangles in here, and it should make a smaller square.
Yep, fold them all to the middle with the white side up.
So it should look like that. And then you can flip it and fold pretty much the same thing. Fold the corners in to the middle. And so you should have this. Then you can flip it again. This is the hard part, so you might need some parent help for this, but if you're awesome, you should be able to do it. So you fold the middle in and the corners out. You flip these up, get your fingers in, and poof. Hello. Okay, so then you have some pieces of it, pieces of the story, and then you have what happens with it when you do those things. And if you flip it up, it tells about that part. And if you completely undo it, it'll tell you the whole story. So, parable teller.